quick question. How would you describe a meal you've really enjoyed or a film you've loved? If your go-to answer is very good, there's nothing wrong with that, but there are so many better expressions that you can use. Today, I'm going to give you 7 things that a native British speaker would use instead, and the small differences between them, because they're not really interchangeable. First, let's talk about why very good is a bit of a problem. It isn't wrong. If you said to me, "Oh, Hannah, the meal was very good," I would understand you perfectly, but it is what we call socially flat. It's a phrase you learn on page 1 of a textbook, but it isn't really one that native speakers reach for instinctively in conversation. And it's so general, it's not specific enough, it's not expressive enough. It's sort of like saying, "Oh, I'm very happy," when what you're trying to convey is, "I'm thrilled." I'm thrilled is a much more accurate word to describe how you're feeling in that moment than happy. And it's the same with very good. The other thing, and this is what is wonderful about British English, we have a whole range of phrases that we lean on that have different shades of meaning. Some are warm, some are dry, some are enthusiastic, others less so. But the one you choose tells the listener something. It tells them about what you're feeling or what you were experiencing in that moment. Much better than very good. So here they are, 7 alternatives. Let's start with the most useful one. Number 1, lovely. Lovely. This is the British default. If I had to choose one word that British speakers tend to overuse, it would probably be this one, lovely. But it is a lovely word. We say it constantly. The weather was lovely. Oh, that cup of tea was lovely. Your dress is lovely. It was so lovely catching up. It's a soft, warm word, and it expresses genuine pleasure, but in a gentle and understated way. And as I've talked about, we like it when things are understated. It's not the sort of word you would shout ecstatically, "Lovely." It signals a quiet enthusiasm. If your friend cooked you a delicious meal, you wouldn't say, "Oh, thank you, that was very good." You'd say, "Oh, thank you, that was lovely." Honestly, if you take one word from this video, take this one, take lovely. It will carry you through almost any polite British conversation. Lovely. Number 2, brilliant. Brilliant. This is where we go up the scale a bit. Lovely is warm and gentle. Brilliant is real enthusiasm. It means really, really good. Originally, brilliant meant shining or sparkling, but now it's evolved, and in everyday English, it just means wonderful, great, fantastic. If someone says, "I've got us tickets for Saturday," you'd say, "Oh, brilliant." If someone tells you their good news, they've just been promoted or got a new job or passed an exam, you'd say, "Oh, that's brilliant, congratulations." It's also very common as a response on its own. "I'll meet you at 7. Brilliant." One word, which means, good, that works. I'm pleased. One thing to know, British people use brilliant a lot more than Americans, I'd say. They tend to use awesome or great, but for us, we reach for brilliant. Number 3, smashing. Smashing. Now, I love this one, but it is slightly old-fashioned. However, it is still very much in use, especially with older generations, and I feel it's making a comeback, maybe. I definitely find myself using it a lot more. Smashing. Smashing means fantastic or wonderful, but it has quite a cheerful, cozy energy. It's the sort of word someone uses when they're really pleased about something, but in a warm, informal way. So you might hear, "Did you have a nice holiday?" "Oh, it was smashing, thanks." Or, "I've made us chocolate brownies." "Ooh, smashing." It's a bit theatrical, but that is part of its charm. The kind of word a friendly British neighbour would use over the garden fence. And if you use it it has this old world charm to it because you're acknowledging it's not really a modern word, but it has a certain quaintness, a certain charm. I would save it for family and friends, however. I wouldn't use it in a business meeting. Number 4, rather nice. I have a slight issue with the word nice, only just because it's so generic and so general. If someone says to me, oh, you look nice, I think, oh, can't you find another adjective? However, rather nice, I think, is a necessary one to include because it captures that typical British understatement that we have discussed before. Sometimes in British English, the less enthusiastic someone sounds, the more enthusiasm they actually have. I've talked about this before. I remember once years ago, I made an American friend a classic British roast, and it was the first time she had ever had one. And after the first bite, she said, oh, Hannah, this is amazing. This is incredible. This is delicious. My mother just nodded and said, yes, it's rather nice. And it's so typically British. Yes, it's rather nice. Rather nice might sound quite mild on the surface, but actually, if a British person uses it, it can mean this is genuinely excellent. You'd use it about some wine or a piece of art, a meal, a nice view. This wine is rather nice, actually. Translation, it's delicious. The thing to remember, and this often catches learners out, rather nice isn't faint praise. It's praise in disguise. That's the best way to think about it. Praise in that typical British understated disguise. Number 5, top-notch. Top-notch. This one is slightly different from the others because it's about quality. Lovely is about how you feel. Top-notch is about the thing itself being really excellent, the best of its kind. Top-notch. You might use it for food, for service, for someone's work or a particular product, about the specific thing. The food at that restaurant is top-notch. She did a top-notch job on that report. This is top-notch wine. It's informal, but not slang. You can use it at work or you can use it with friends. Number 6, and this one is perhaps the most British one on the entire list. Oh, actually, we've got a lot of very British ones, but here is another very British one. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. We are back in understatement territory. If a British person describes something to you as not bad at all, they mean excellent. Counterintuitive though that is. Not bad at all, they might mean it was one of the best things they've ever experienced, but they're using that typical British understatement. Here's the slightly mad part. The longer version is actually the more enthusiastic. If I just describe something as not bad, that means it's okay, it was quite good. If I say not bad at all, that means it was really, really good, especially if I say it with a little bit of emphasis. Not bad. Not bad at all. Excellent. So if a British person comes back from holiday in Italy or Greece or anywhere and you ask them how it was and they say, yeah, not bad at all actually, they mean it was wonderful. The food was incredible. It was one of the best weeks of their life. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. I think this might be one of the most confusing things about British English for learners. We dial things down often to express the most feeling. But once you understand that, you get it. So next time you hear a British person say, not bad at all actually, you know what they mean. And finally, number 7, spot on. Spot on. This one has more of a specific meaning. It means exactly right. So you'd use it when something is perfect, perfectly judged, perfectly accurate, perfectly to your taste. Spot on. If a friend gave you the perfect directions to get somewhere, you'd say, oh, thanks, you were spot on. Or someone makes a comment that you completely, wholeheartedly agree with, spot on. I couldn't agree more. If you taste a sauce and the seasoning is exactly to your taste, spot on. It's casual and it's modern. And it's a lovely one to add to your vocabulary because it captures a very specific type of approval. It means that is exactly right for me in this moment. Not just that's good, that's precisely right. I hope you enjoyed those. To help you remember them, I have created a free PDF with all of them, explaining their nuances and giving you some examples. So make sure you click the link in the description below to get your free resource. Quickly, let's run through them one more time. Lovely, brilliant, smashing, rather nice, top notch, not bad at all, spot on. I hope for you this video was spot on. So start to listen for these. If you are living in the UK or you're watching a lot of British TV, you'll hear them a lot. Lovely, especially. Once you notice it, you can't unnotice it. You will hear it everywhere. Try to use one or two of them this week. Next time you're about to say very good, reach for one of these instead. I will see you in my next video. Bye.